Hello everybody, it is Badger Wild and we are back with another Space Engineers video. This time we are looking at the prototech thruster. But before we get started, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps out the channel. And if you are looking for anything that you see in this video, be sure to check the description. There will be a link to it, including a video that will also back up the claims that I'm going to make here. And also has some neat stuff on it, which is also what I'm using in the video. You'll see snippets of this every so often, just kind of explain where I'm going, give you all a visual representation. But today I want to talk about the prototech thruster and why this is not simply just the bigger, better ion thruster. Well, technically it is, and technically it is not. It is actually something completely different we haven't seen in Space Engineers as of late. So everyone who has played Space Engineers knows the three main thruster types we have had fun with for the past 13 years. And those have been, from left to right, the atmospheric engine, the ion engine, and the hydrogen engine. Of these three, the only one that has been feasible in both atmosphere and vacuum flight has been the hydrogen engine. For vacuum, ion is one of the best engines you can use, and for atmosphere, the Atmo engine, or the jet thruster or turbine, has been the most effective thruster we have been able to use in atmosphere. Now, these both use electricity, but this one uses hydrogen, thus the connectors you can see down here at the bottom in yellow, this little bar thing with a silver. Now, all this aside, Keen then drops this little psycho. This is the prototech thruster. And the interesting part of this, we have a prototech thrusting system. Under normal circumstances, ion thrusters do not work in atmosphere. On the flip side, atmospheric thrusters do not work in a vacuum. This thruster works in both, as I'm going to demonstrate here real quick. You can see us get up here, and then you can see the back section of this just fire up real quick. And you can see it is providing us with plenty of thrust. Now, this provides a limited amount of thrust in atmosphere. Once we leave the planet, which you can do as Space Engineers, for those of you that are new watching the channel, yes, you can do that. We can leave this planet and go up there. No load times either. This thing will become far more efficient, and we'll be able to really, really fly through space. But all that being said, how is it that we are able to have an ion thruster that is feasible in both atmosphere and vacuum flight? And that is because this is not a combination of these two engines. This is primarily an ion engine, yes. But this is what I'm going to classify the prototech engine, and I'm going to be the one to classify this, is a dual stage multi-purpose thruster, or dual stage multi-purpose plasma thruster. And the reason why I'm saying this is a plasma thruster is because, like the ion engine, yeah, this uses plasma to create an explosion basically inside this. As the plasma expands, it goes one direction, and well, doesn't matter if it's compressed air or fire. If it's going one direction with any type of force or any type of velocity, the gas is at least, as it expands, it is going to produce thrust. You can do this with what I like to call can rockets. That is, you take a tin can, drill a hole in the top of it, set it onto a basin of water, and drop a firecracker down inside of it. When that thing goes off, it'll launch the can almost 30 feet. No lie, it will do this. And that's kind of how these ion thrusters work. They drop, I can't remember what the chemical composition is or what the atoms are, but it drops 2 atoms inside, or a specific number of atoms. One of them, I think, is hydrogen, the other one is something else. Don't quote me on that. But then what happens is, as those 2 hit the electrical part and are excited, they produce ionic plasma gas. This gas expands, and forgive me, I'm a little sick, but this gas expands and it produces the thrust that we normally see. This does that, But instead of using a turbofan like the atmospheric thrusters do, which this is a jet version, there's also a turbofan version, or a duct fan. This uses a bladeless system that uses the plasma ions to excite the air and propel it in a singular direction. How it swaps back and forth, I don't know. I'm of two theories on this. One, this is either a dual phase engine, like I said, and that's why I'm kind of leaning towards dual phase, because we do have a grid in here, but we also have this extra ring. I'll get to that here in a minute. But the reason I say it's dual phase is, on the one hand, we have the grid, and if you look right here, you can see right in the center of this, you'll see this little grid. On a regular plasma ion thruster, which like we normally have seen, that we're using a lot in space currently, yes, NASA's doing that, this is what causes the excitement of the atoms to produce the plasma thrust. If you look over here in the thrust cone, let me spin myself around here. Sorry for those who might get motion sickness. But you can see a similar grid here inside the thruster cone. Now, this means that it's operating on the same ionic principle as the ion thruster. But I think because of this ring, because if you look at this ion thruster, it doesn't have a ring on the outer side. We have this outer ring. And one of the things that an atmospheric ionic plasma thruster does is it pulls air in from the outside somewhere. Now, I'm not seeing a vent anywhere. It may be these. It may be this ventral section here, but it is somehow pulling atmospheric air through the system via probably some type of acceleration system inside of it, and then accelerating the air out the back end, and we are getting a plasma bloom off of it because it is pumping that much energy. One of the things you'll learn real quick about plasma, ionic plasma, and I'm not an expert in this, so I'm going to give you the dumbest, just the real dumb lowdown while some video comes up. What this does is it utilizes almost like a, not a plasma fire, but it ionizes the air so that the air, in such a way that the air goes one direction. In other words, the air is expanding in one way, and that is pushing the air off in a singular direction. There are many different methods of this. They are actually quite powerful, and some of your bladeless fans that you see, so it's like the big ring that just propels air for some reason, you're like, wow, this thing's just pushing air. How does it do that? It's working on sometimes pretty much the same principle sometimes. A few of them are, at least. This is something that has been worked on by various governments, because the idea of having a plasma-powered or electrically based thruster system means that you could just hook a small nuclear reactor up to an airplane and basically run it forever. Long-range bombers would work out pretty good that way. But having this as a system in which you can shift, as I said, this is not a thruster like we've normally been used to, and this kind of plays, and very well, into Keen's whole push that the prototech is a good in-game content, and that's what this is for. But kind of the science behind it, it is basically able to just push air. It's very wild, this stuff. Also, if you guys are wanting to know about the videos and everything, I took all this from a single video, and you want to help me and the creator both out, be sure to check out the Plasma channel. I'll put a link to the video that I'm using here in the description, so you guys can go check out that video as well. But like I said, this is not simply just a combination of these two. This is a purely ionic-based propulsion system that works both in Atmo and in a vacuum, which is what makes this really cool. So we can actually designate this thruster as a fifth type if you consider the duct fan as its own type of thruster, which it does operate pretty differently. So this is its own group, and there's a possibility now that in the future, or maybe even in Space Engineers 2, there will be more prototech thrusters that we are going to see. Probably we'll get a smaller version that will enable us for some high maneuverability. I don't know. But I thought it was interesting to do a video like this, just to kind of look into it and explain what this thruster is and how it would work, because it was something I just kept looking at later when I messed around with it, and then I also saw other players that were being able to use this in Atmo, and I was like, oh, this isn't a glitch. This is a feature now. So yeah, this is an ionic. I guess we could just call this an ionic plasma thruster, or dual phase ionic plasma thruster is what this actually is, or prototech thruster for layman's terms, if you don't want to have a mouthful. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to also check out the Plasma channel, and check out some of his bladeless atmospheric thrusters. Those are actually really cool. They're realistic, and they are really far more powerful than you will. If you've never seen the channel, you'll be looking at this going, holy crap. And then the Gundam concepts start coming into play. How can I turn this into a Gundam? Anyway, also don't forget my channel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you guys enjoyed it. And as always, I am Badger Wild saying stay safe, stay frosty, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye for now.